Hi Auntie, normally I don't do this, but as I was recording feedback for other students, I saw your animation. I was like, okay, let's just do a video critique for this one, as I really liked it. I really like the originality and the effort. So yeah, I'm just gonna give you a free video feedback. So basically, I like how you took the time to make sure that you created like good lines of action throughout the character. All the poses, most of the poses have that nice line of action. So good on that. So let's analyze. So first, you see how this is great, but then when he does this movement, see how he's leaning forward, and then all of a sudden he pops, he rotating the chest back. So instead of just having this, so in one frame just popping back and then that, instead have it so from here he already starts to because the legs are already under him, so he starts to raise the chest, raise the head, so he's reversing the line of action of his body, and then you have it to this pose, but start it earlier, like 1 or 2 frames earlier, so we don't have this pop, so we can start to see the slow out of to the movement. So boom, and then he throws the feet forward. Because if you drag the upper part also, you can see the pop. So tack tack boom, see this pop here? Try to make it so it's more fluid. So this would be a bit forward, and then you have more of like the fluid motion on the top. Same here. See how when he rotates back, if you track this, notice how there is a big space in here, but then there is almost no slowing. So instead of maybe having that much spacing, in this pose have it a bit less, so he's still a bit rotated forward, and over these 2 frames have it so the chest eases into the pose, so the chest and the head finish the movement back, so you don't have that feeling that the top, this part is hitting a wall here, because now see how it feels like boom, the top part is hitting a wall there. So yeah, just creating that slow into the pose so that it doesn't move that much in this frame and keeps moving back a couple frames more. Then same here, be careful with the pops. So if he's anticipating, don't make it so that over 1 frame it rotates forward with a big spacing and it stays still almost completely. So see here how the 1 frame big spacing and then it almost freezes. So instead of having this much of big spacing, have it so it slows in. So it's not over 1 frame, but you have those 3 frames where the character is almost frozen, the head. So you have that slowing to the pose. So it's not just the arms moving, but you have that slowing. It can be very small, but you still have to have that small slow into the pose. And then when he jumps, see how it doesn't feel quite like a push, because the legs are not straightening for the last contact pose. So you can see how the body starts to move to this pose, but we don't feel the push on the legs. So what you want to have is 1 frame where the legs are completely straightened but still touching the ground. That would be the last pose of the last contact pose. So here, for example, for this pose, have if they can reach the ground, have the feet still touching the ground, so you can feel the bend to straight legs, so you can feel the push on the legs, so you can feel the energy of the character pushing himself up. And then you can see how check the roots, because you can have some jerky movements moving forward. So check the axis that represents the horizontal movement, the forward movements, and make sure that it's a clean curve. You can have a bit of a ease into the middle for the hold pose, but the curve has to be clean, because now it feels like it's moving back and forth, it's having ease-ins and ease-outs throughout the jump. See how here seems to move forward more, bigger spacing, then moves up and not moving forward that much, and then starts to move to the left again, and then stops, and then starts to move again. So yeah, you can have that slowing to the middle point where the hang time is happening, but just that slowing, more of a coherent spacing, because now it feels like it's a bit jerky, it's moving back and forth with some frames the spacing is bigger, some frames the spacing is much smaller. So yeah, just clean that curve. Also, when he rotates the legs forward, I love the lines of action that you're creating, by the way. And then, but when he flips the legs forward, it's a great opportunity to change the line of action. So you have that line of action here, and then when he flips the legs forward, change it so you can have it so when he flips the legs forward, the torso rotates forward as well, so you can keep dragging the hands back, so you can feel the momentum, the anticipation, but rotate here the torso forward, so you have that line of action, that's zero reverse line of action, because right now it feels like the back is broken because the feet are moving forward, thus the hips should rotate according to the legs, and thus the back should rotate accordingly. Right now it feels a bit broken because the back is maintaining that posture and then the legs are flipping forward, so it feels a bit odd. But yeah, just that. And then I would then when he smashed down, just I would so here so you're holding it here, and here he starts to get ready to smash down, so he's building the momentum here. Okay, but see how he's building the momentum, and then you have a couple of frames where he stops the momentum and then he goes again to make the impact. So maybe you just want to remove those frames. Yeah, I think I would do that. Just remove these two frames where the so this one is good, so just remove this frame. So I would remove this frame because it's not moving that much, this frame, so it's not moving that much, and it's just like a held pose almost there, and then boom, so you have more fluid motion, so it doesn't stop in the middle, so it's like boom, and you have that impact. And also when you have that hold pose, and also yeah, basically check the the curves on the main control, because if you track the hips, see how he's moving forward, then down, but without moving forward, then forward again, then down and back, then forward again. So yeah, just make sure that the main control, that the hips are moving coherently. So they are moving forward all the time, and you can have that slowing on the high part, but always forward, and when he's moving down or up, it's coherent. So it's slowing in and slowing out and having fast ins and fast outs, but always with a coherent spacing. So it's not one frame where the movement stops going down and then moving forward. So yeah, just clean up the curves there. And yeah, overall that's awesome. Oh, there's more animation. Wait. Great, I quite like that. Just be careful. Just be careful with the. I love the poses, by the way. How the. Ooh. The timing as well of the hands going. That's great. Just to keep the more of a fluid movement, you can see how the movement is moving to the right. So the fist is moving to screen right, then so 1-2 frames screen right, and then stops or almost moves to screen left, and then opens the hand. It feels kind of like a hitting a wall. So instead of doing that, maybe you want to have this frame where the fist is a bit more to the left. So when getting to this pose, the hand is still moving to the right. So you have that easing to that pose instead of just feeling like a pop, like boom, boom, but you have that small easing to the pose. Because now it feels a bit jerky there, like a lot of movement. Same here, right? So he pushes, he lifts the hand, but you can see how there's a big spacing here, and then the spacing almost hits a wall and rotates only. So it feels a bit jerky, the movement. So maybe this frame, it doesn't travel that much. It's already begun to start rotating the hand. So it's not just like movement and then rotation, but you have that movement, a bit of rotation, and a lot of rotation and a bit of movement. So you still have the overlap, but not that much of overlap where there's just movement or just rotation, but you have that bit of both on each frame. And then okay. Then here see how it pops forward and then back. If you did it as an anticipation, just when you are doing anticipations, try to make them that at least 2-3 frames so that we can read them if they are small. Because if you just have a big anticipation and just one frame, it feels like a pop. It doesn't feel like anticipation. I don't know if you wanted to do that here, but just to let you know. And so yeah, and also I don't know if you have IK hands, but just if you can drag the hands so they are not sliding on the ground, so they are kept on one place, it would feel more real, because now they are just sliding on the ground. But it's really hard to do it with FK hands. So if your character doesn't have IK hands, well, just try to do your best frame by frame. But yeah, the settle I quite liked. Just this leg here, it feels a bit jerky, a bit of much movement. Just try to keep it more subtle. So instead of just raising that much here, that faster, and then moving forward, just try to even out the spacing. So he raises the leg and plants it again, but a bit slower, so it's not that snappy, because it's not the main movement. We don't want the audience to focus on that part, so we don't want that much contrast on the leg lifting and planting. So we want the leg more of a fluid motion, so it's just like the audience can see it, but it's not drawing the attention to that part. See how, for me, when I see it, my attention goes directly to the leg, because it feels like a fast movement. So yeah, just slow it down a bit. And then, as I said, the settle, I really like it. It's something that beginners tend to struggle a bit. But I really like how you overlap the arms, the head. So that's really nice. If you wanted to add a bit more polish to that, I would say just same here. So the feet is moving, so the foot is moving back. Just instead of just sliding back really fast, just lift it up a bit and plant it back again, but give it like 4 more frames so it feels more fluid, more organic, more like step back instead of a rushed step back sliding, but more like a lift and planted. And see, love this. So he moves back, rotate. See that overlap, I love it. Tracking, if you track this, you can see how fluid and great this is. It doesn't feel like it's hitting a wall. You have that easing to the pose and then moving forward again. And then what I would do here is, as a tiny polish note, you can see how, so it's rotating that back and then forward, but then you have it rotating back and forward and staying there. But to add that extra polish, you could make the head rotate forward a bit more and then back a tiny bit. So instead of just like moving forward and locking, staying balanced, just locked on that place, just add a bit of that forward and back again. I think that would add a lot to end the animation. See? So at the end, so that would make so it doesn't feel like all the parts reach the pose at the same time, but you have the head, some residual movement on the head as the movement finishes. So yeah, that would be it. Really great animation. I mean, for 3 hours into my course, I don't know how much you practiced. I don't know if you have done a lot of animations before, but this is really great to be starting. So congrats on that, and hope to see more of your work. And yeah, hope you liked the video critique, and see you around. Bye.